I really love the effort you're making to see me again, and I think you're so hot, and I had a lot of fun with you until the chaos that erupted at the end of our hang last time. That awkwardness and how weird I felt has stayed with me a little too much, and I'm sorry, but I don't think I can hang. It's just the way I feel, and I want to be honest with you. But again, you're super cute and nice and smart and funny, and I hope to run into you down the road.
That's great. So honest.
So honest, and all of that is true.
So kind.
But I couldn't get rid of that feeling of hating the situation that we were in.
You can't make yourself want to hang out with somebody.
I can't make you love me. Well, that's not
but the opposite.
song.
I can't make me love you.
Yes.
So what an insulting song that would be to hear. I wrote you a song. It's Linda Ronstadt, right?
I can't make
you.
No, Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie Raitt. Excuse me.
Make me love you if I won't.
I'm just like, you brought me here to sing that to me.
I just wanted to not ghost you.
Just text Bonnie.
Send a voice memo.
Josh Gondelman. Oh, by the way, that guy wrote back, LOL, gotcha.
No love lost.
Took it in stride.
No love lost. Exactly. There's like 60 episodes at this point online on YouTube, Comedy Central's YouTube channel. Just type in Nikki Glaser.
Wait, did you tell
This
them?
is my Caitlyn Jenner impression because she told me how to Google Rob Kardashian on Dancing with the Stars.
That's so funny.
I'm all over the place.
She
this
told
morning,
you how
but
to Google?
Well, she was telling me when we were during the roast in between commercial segments, she came up to me after hearing that I was voted off Dancing with the Stars from several jokes that were made. Mm-hmm. She goes, "You were voted off first on Dancing with the Stars? That's the worst thing that can happen to a celebrity." And I was like, oh my God, first of all, it's not the worst thing.
The worst thing that can happen to a regular person is you hit him with a car.
Yeah.
Precisely, Josh.
Ding
I know, or that your wife's ex-husband defends a murderer who murdered his wife. There's a lot of
when
things.
you're famous, the worst thing that happens is voting off Dancing with the Stars.
Or your daughter has a sex tape, which is
Huge
pretty,
scandal.
your wife released and produced and did reshoots on. But
I want to circle back briefly to that she told you how to Google the footage. Mm-hmm. She thinks Google is a thing only rich people know how to use. She's like, it can search anything.
Because she
They're
does.
giving it away.
You know what? It's almost kind of her to do that because you're right. I think she understands that her life is this privileged experience.
Yeah.
And so because Bonnie McFarlane was in the writer's room with her and said that Caitlyn came in to go over her jokes and that Caitlyn got a call about her plane. The maintenance on her plane. And she goes, "Oh, it's my, it's my plane guy." She goes, "You guys can all relate to that, right? Who's working on your planes?" And Bonnie goes, I actually fix my own plane." And she was like, there's a lot of new women coming up in aviation. And Bonnie's like, "I'm kidding." But you're right. She probably extends that little caveat after everything because she doesn't know if it's a rich thing or not.
She doesn't know if it's rich or normal.
Yeah, so she was like, you got to see Robert. She literally goes, go to youtube.com. Click on the search button, and then type in Robert Kardashian, and then type in Dancing with the Stars. I was like, I know how to do this. She goes, go to the third one. There's a great compilation of his foxtrots. She was like, it was so cute. She was so proud. But I was
That's
like,
really cute.
We got to get him dancing again.
To be fair, YouTube is confusing.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, I tell people how to find my web series, and it really is go to youtube.com, type in the Warner Sound, go to the third thing under playlists.
And there's a great compilation of my foxtrots.
But Josh Gondelman is here. He has a new book out. I'm so excited about his book. I have so much to say about Josh Gondelman. I mean, I could just let me go into Josh Gondelman to me is just, I love you so much, and everyone loves you so much, and you're the kindest person I know, one of the smartest people I know, such an amazing writer, such an amazing comedian, but just truly one of the best people.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you top most people's lists. I mean, you're just one of these people, and you know that about yourself.
That's
you're
very sweet. I really appreciate your saying so. Thank you.
I know you appreciate it, and you're sincere, you do, but you must hear this all the time. You're one of the kindest people, the nicest people I know, and he does these things on, this is Josh Gondelman in a nutshell. he will do this thing on Twitter where you're like, what will you explain it to me? How do you
Sure.
phrase it?
So I'll say
yes.
usually it'll be at night, often when I'm on the road, sometimes just if I get home and my wife is already asleep. And I'll say, if anybody needs to hear a kind word or a pep talk, I'll be here for 5 minutes. Just let me know.
5 minutes.
So whoever says like, hey, it's usually people respond with like a lot of like medium specific stuff like, hey, I have a job interview this week, or like, I don't know, man, the world just seems really stressful. And I try to just say a nice thing to help people feel a little better before they go to bed.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think I'm doing therapy, but it is like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes you're like, well, it's too late to text anyone, so I guess I'll just stew online.
Yes. You're
and
bringing some positivity to
I
that
try.
platform, and I always miss it. I always,
I miss the window too.
I mean, I love that you give such a short window, and I honestly might steal that idea from you because there's
Please.
some times where I'm like, I want to interact, but I don't want this to go on longer than 5 minutes.
I think if you put a window to it, honestly, because I always like go past the window, but if you don't, then like I think people understand that you'd set a boundary.
Yes, boundaries.
Yeah, I'm very bad at
We just
that.
heard of those.
Oh yeah.
I've heard rumors.
I love
exist.
Amy Schumer's joke about I took my mom to a soccer game to show her what boundaries were.
That's incredible.
I loved it.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I remember that joke because I remember being like, "What are boundaries? I don't even understand that joke." That's how far removed from the concept of having boundaries with your family was to me, that I remember hearing that joke and it stood out to me because I didn't understand it.
Wow.
And then years later, I'm like, I mean, I understood, but I didn't understand showing your mom boundaries. Like, why would you do that? Why is that funny?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now it's like, click.
I used to shower, and my Russian mom would just come into the shower to have a conversation with me when I was like 14. And I'm like, Mama, you can't do this. Boundaries. And she was like, I'm from communist Russia. We have no boundaries. Everything is
That's a good
we.
point.
There is no I.
That's a good point.
There is no
It's a
me,
cultural.
mine, yours.
It's cultural that I'm watching you shower.
Yeah. Get over it.
Yeah, the just I go home and I have no boundary. I pee with the door open. I just want to like keep talking to people.
I
don't wanna
also
be
want to
alone.
keep talking to people.
I
have that impulse too.
Well, Josh Gondelman, so much to get to with you today. Josh has a new book out. He's the nicest man on Twitter. He's the nicest man in comedy. He's done so many things. I mean, are you currently working at Jesus and Miro?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, you're EP.
No, just supervising producer.
Supervising producer.
And writer, yeah.
I love that you are on that show because those guys are two of the nicest.
They're
dudes.
so nice and so funny.
It's just when they're nice people in this business, you got to say something about it. And people say that a lot, like, this is the nicest person. But it's usually true because we need to call it out when we see it because it's so few and far between, I think.
I always love to hear it, too. Like, whenever somebody, whenever we have a friend that, like, works on a big movie and they're like, I worked with whoever, like, whatever star, and they were just, like, so considerate on...
Yes.
I like a good gossip. Like, I like a good, like, this fucking dick. Like, that, it's fun to talk about. But it really heartens me when someone is like a kind person despite... every opportunity to not be.
Yeah, I wish we had more of those stories, like
Totally.
gossip stories about people being super nice on
It's
set.
great.
Yeah.
I love it. It's that like the opposite. I like almost started a podcast that was just the opposite of like talking behind someone's back, but you just go on and say like nice things about people that you would never tell them to their face.
Yes, it's so behind their back, but like talk about them on the
like
podcast.
positive stuff.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's really good.
Thank you. It's so fun.
Yeah,
And
like Kimmel, doesn't he have a great reputation as being really nice and certain
Oh yeah,
Fallon
Kimmel, Fallon, Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler is
Oh,
like
yeah.
legendary. Seth
Legendary.
Meyers also.
Seth Meyers
has
so
like
nice.
a great reputation
Yes.
and has always been nice when I've encountered him. And he was really he had like a long Twitter thread like a year ago just about how kind Sarah Silverman and Adam Sandler were to him when he started comedy.
Yeah.
Like as two like from the SNL family and like two people who are also from New Hampshire where he's from. And so like he had that long thing and I was just like, that's so nice to see that.
Josh Gondelman, you wrote a book. That is why you're
did.
here today. I mean, like you're here today because I love you, but and it's been a long time coming. I can't believe this is your first
I'm
time
so
on the
excited.
show. Is it your first time on the
It
show?
is my first time.
That seems crazy to me.
I've really wanted to. I've been like so excited to do it, but like I always have to be at work.
You're at work.
Yeah.
You're working. Josh Gondelman wrote a book. It's called Nice Try, Stories of Best Intentions and Mixed Results. Tell us, I didn't get a chance to read it.
That's okay.
Yet. I can't wait to, though, because, I mean, you've written for The New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
Have you written for The Times? Yeah, you've written all over the place. I love your pieces.
Thank
You're
you.
such a great writer. How did this book come about, and what are we to expect from it?
So it's an essay collection,
Yes.
just stories from my life. And it came out, I'd co-written just like kind of a straight up humor book a few years ago with my friend Joe Berkowitz, who's super great and talented. And the book ended up just kind of being like, a publisher wanted a kind of book, and we were like, sure, we'll write that for you. And I'm really happy with the job we did on it, but I still feel like it was like someone else's project that we were like executing for them. And this one, I was like, I really liked the process of writing a book, and I really want to put something out there that feels more like me. And at the time, I was at Last Week Tonight, and I felt like I was working really hard and working on a project that I was really proud of, a TV show that I was really proud of as part of a bigger team. And I was like, I really just want something that I can work on and really dig into and share that's not, that just feels like, hey, I did this. Check
Just
it out.
you.
And so it took me a while to come up with a proposal that felt just right, that felt like, because writing a book and putting out a book and pitching a book and editing one takes so long.
So long. Talk about when did you first sit down to do your proposal? What month are we talking?
Summer 2017. So like June 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the proposal, like for those of you who don't know, which I didn't know this until recently, to put together a book or to pitch a book, you have to write a proposal, which is about like at least 50 pages, right?
Yeah. So it was like a long essay, probably a 20-page sample essay that was new. And fortunately, I'd like written enough stuff that they didn't need like, okay, but write 4 of those.
Right.
So
you had enough stuff going in, but generally it's just a big chunk. You have to like write the big chunk of the book.
Plus like a pitch that's like, here's what my book will be, and like here's why I'm great and should write it.
Right. It's like a class project, like the biggest class project ever, and there's no guarantee, obviously.
No, you're doing it all on spec,
Yep.
and there's no like, I had a hunch that it would sell, but like it could have also been like the only deals I got offered were not worth 2 years of work.
Yes.
And so I would have it would have been a really tough
How did you
place to
pick your editor?
This is a great question. I got it. Part of it was money, and part of it was my editor, Stephanie, who is amazing. Like from the jump off, did not fall for my bullshit, and it made me.
What's your bullshit?
Yeah,
it made me crave her approval desperately and trust her so much, because I was like, if she doesn't like me, she must know what's going on. So my bullshit is
interesting.
My bullshit is like, I have stand-up instincts as an essay writer, and so like if instead of digging into like the emotional,
every other sentence you
is a
go,
joke.
hey, you guys, can you quiet down over there?
Yeah.
Can I get another club soda? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You're interjecting.
I don't come to your book and knock the pages out of your hands.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
No,
so you wanted a joke. Because that's why I love your stand-up. It's very similar to mine, where it's like, because I'm saying I like you because you're like me, but like, generally, isn't that why we like people? They remind us of ourselves. But no, I like it because it's just, I like comedy that's like joked. I don't want fat. No fat.
Yeah.
I just get the jokes.
It's so
Literally.
and that's,
don't be vulnerable.
Hates fat.
Literally. No periods. And that's all how I like my writing. One run-on sentence. One
and that's
period.
Like, that's what I'll do. Like I would literally turn in like a 4,500 word essay, and there would be like 800 words that were just about like a pair of big jeans I saw when I was 14. And she'd be like, Josh, that's nothing. That like distracts from the point.
So like, let's get into who you are as a person.
She would be like,
stop with the little bits.
Yeah, the flourishes. And she's like, let's thin out the jokes so the stuff that's there really hits. And it does it like when people are reading it, they don't get distracted from the story you're telling.
Right.
And the jokes are like there to enhance the story rather than like, you're not you don't have to like get laughs because you're not telling a worthwhile story.
God, I struggled with the same thing, Josh, when I was putting together my special bangin', which comes out tonight at midnight.
I'm so excited.
Thanks, Josh.
I'm like setting myself because I have a train ride tomorrow up to Boston. I'm setting myself a calendar alert to download it to Netflix on my phone so I can watch it on the train.
Thank you, dude.
You're
That
like,
means
I
so
am
much.
so psyched.
It is incredible.
Check out Josh Gondelman's new book, Nice Try, a collection of essays by one of the funniest writers in the biz. Josh Gondelman, longtime old friend. You're married now.
I'm married now.
How long have you been married? A year?
2 years.
2 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
How did you meet your wife? Can we talk about that?
Of course. We met at a party that she was throwing. A mutual friend brought me to this party, and I had just had a breakup like 5 weeks before probably.
Oof.
And I was like, I'm just gonna say yes to fun things. And so I was on my way home from a show in Brooklyn. I lived in Harlem at the time, and a friend texted me, was like, come to this party. Do you know Maris? It's crazy that you don't know each other. You guys should meet.
Yeah.
Oh my God, a little light shade just fell down and Anya screamed.
I thought it was an entire light fixture. Sorry.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I thought it was like a prehistoric moth. I don't know how that would have happened. I was just like, big moth, cool.
That does look like, I mean, it's falling from a light, so that's
Yeah.
often what moths do.
And it had like a fluttery vibe to it.
It's huge. That is the size of one of those moths that you go, oh my God, I can't believe they get that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That's what you're gonna find in Josh Gondelman's book. He thought of a light.
Prehistoric
Guys,
moth.
it was like it's like a little cover for light because they're filming this episode, so it looks like legit. You could have worked on writing what that could be all day long, and nothing as funny as prehistoric moth.
The problem that I have is I'm so self-satisfied with the first thing. Like, there might be a better joke, but I'm like, prehistoric moth, I'm a genius. Time to take the rest of the day off.
You're right, because sometimes the
good.
first thing
Yeah.
is the best thing.
Yeah.
Often, yeah, in music too. I just recorded a song for Nikki by request and was working on it
Will
last
you
week.
seriously dedicate it to me? Like, can we just say
I
that
just
you did it for me?
I literally
Like,
did.
Okay, like, can that be
I'm
a thing
doing
though
a
that you
Taylor
say
S-
every time?
Taylor Swift cover.
Ooh.
And it's 100% because Nikki introduced me to the song, and then I played it at Hotel Cafe in LA, and then like a couple of weeks later, I got home from tour, and she was like, "Are you gonna record that song? Please record it. Please record it." So I just did. That's how you talk. Wasn't that a great Glaser? I have to
It
say
wasn't
that
so
was,
bad.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
What you're going to do is you put it into YouTube.
Go to the search bar. But anyway, I did 4 takes of the vocal, and the first take we did like 95% of the first take with
Yep.
a couple little fixes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And I often feel you're so right. It's like it's not always the first time that you
No.
get it right. Like there's something to be said about trying and trying again.
Yes.
But
The whole premise of the book.
yes,
Nice
try.
try.
But oftentimes, and you do this with stand up a lot,
Yeah.
where you have a joke that you've written and it works.
Yep.
And you know every time you do it, you go, I should go back to that. But then you never do.
Yep.
And it stays like at a C+ when it really could be an A if
Yep.
you worked on it for, I don't know, 2 minutes.
For sure. Or sometimes you dress it up too far and you go, oh, you know what? The kernel of what I originally thought, that's the important part. I've got to go back to that.
Well, I just taped The Degenerates, this special that'll come out at the end of the year. And I was tempted. I did a bunch of new material on it just because I was like, you know what? I'm excited about this stuff. It's what I want to say now. Fuck it. So I ended up putting a lot of just brand new material in it. And I'm like, God, I know this is going to be better at some point. And it sucks that Josh just accidentally spilled seltzer when he was opening it, and it fell into his palm, and he was holding it like a baby bird. And then he sipped the water from his palm instead of dumping it on the ground like everyone else would do. I love you so much. I once saw Big J in another studio here, like drop a seltzer on the floor, and just and he was like, "Should I clean it up?" And I go, "The thing to clean up anything is seltzer, so just keep it going."
Yeah.
And we just let the can spill out.
Yep.
And it probably cleaned the carpet.
Yeah.
But I
It
appreciate
got
that.
there was
That's
a
how-
red wine stain underneath.
So I did these new jokes, and I was like toiling over it for a little bit because they were good, and I was happy with the. And I go, you know what? I'm gonna take these jokes and in the next couple of weeks, and I'm gonna regret not having the tags that I developed.
Yeah.
So I've taken these jokes out since then. I mean, I taped this special like 2.5 weeks ago, and since then I've been doing them every night, and I've worked on them harder. They're less exactly what you wrote.
That's
I overwrote
so
them, and they're
funny.
less funny than the ones I put down. And so I'm grateful that I put them down in their
awesome.
infancy because they were that's when they should have been put out because they're not killing as hard.
Right. You were psyched about it. Was like the most excited you'll ever be to tell them.
Yes.
It was the like cleanest version of the vision.
Yes.
I like my big problem with a comedian other than deeply unfunny is that I overwrite. I'll have one thing that works and I'll be like, this 90-minute bit should be like a 4-minute bit, and then I do a 4-minute version of it and it's like, nope, it wasn't.
Yes.
I just need it's like, but it's not that I didn't need to work on it. It's like a lot of it is like the archaeology and paleontology of like trimming out, right? It's not like I need to write more. It's like I need to get everything that's not essential away from this core.
Yes, overwriting like that. It's again what we're talking about before about like you just derail the premise that you're trying to. And oh man, I had some awkward moments on stage because the joke that I'm talking about is like about my dad DMing me when I'm waiting for a guy to DM me, and it just gets really gross. Where it's and like this weekend I put so much fat in between my dad DMing me and like the punchline, which is really disgusting, and like telling my dad about like jizz or like I'm just my dad's like, what'd you have for breakfast? And I'm like, you want to really know, something like and they just were disgusted. Like they got so far away from the original premise that I could have hit that it was like I alienated them and pushed them away. But what were we just talking about before that? So what? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm my wife.
Thank you,
Yeah.
So
Noah.
I went to this party.
Producer Noah, killing it.
Thank you. I went to this party and we met and got along immediately.
Yeah.
And we had
What attracted you to her immediately?
she's just like very smart and funny. I knew I knew of her. Excuse me. So I knew that she was like a smart literary like kind of outspoken political person, and she's like obviously very pretty. And so we were talking. And it was her party, so I was like, "Oh, I will talk to this person, and that's great. I'll make a new friend." I was just like, "I'm out to have a good time at this party," and so we met and just got along immediately. And I said the only cool thing I've ever said in my whole life.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had just booked a gig in Sweden, and she was like, "How are you? What's new?" And I was like, "Oh, today I just booked this gig in Sweden. I'm really excited. I've never really traveled outside of North America before." And she goes, "Well, I want to go to Sweden." She had a couple of drinks. I was like, "Well, I want to go to Sweden." Very bold. And I said, "Well, come to Sweden. This is like, we just met like 15 minutes before. I go, come to Sweden, but we should hang out once in the United States first to make sure we don't hate each other. Give me your phone number." So I got her phone number, and she did not come to Sweden with me, which is like probably for the best. My whole family came, which I didn't tell her. Yeah, it was it would have been a mess, a true disaster case. And so,
But that was a hot, confident move.
I don't know
So
why, I felt so confident about doing that and saying that. And I've never felt that way, like those instances, like that kind of like crystal clear confidence I so rarely have had in my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because that's usually what people say when I'm like, how did you guys meet? When I'm talking to people about the one, and they're like, it was just easy. I hadn't felt that way. I hadn't ever acted that way before.
Yeah.
Like it just like everything fell away. The stuff that I had approached relationships with before wasn't there anymore.
Yeah,
it was
it's
just
there,
easy.
There was no pretense of like playing it cool, and there was no I was just like, oh, why not say this? And if she's into it, great. And if she's not, then it like that's okay. Nothing is lost.
Right.
And so I texted her the next day and I said, "Hey, very nice to meet you. Let's hang out before it's weird that we like exchange numbers but haven't hung out yet." Because you know how sometimes you do that, you like meet someone and then it's like 3 weeks of planning and you're just like, well, I don't think either of us are that interested in making this happen.
Yes, dating apps.
Yeah, yes. And so we went out for like a stone cold sober breakfast like 3
Love
days
it.
later because I was about to go on the road. And I was like, but let's just, I'll come to Brooklyn before I like drive up to Rhode Island for this gig. And much less glamorous than Sweden. She wasn't like, I've always wanted to go to Rhode Island. And we just had a great time. And and we were dating like immediately. It was just like off to the races.
Wow. When was
Yeah.
your first kiss? That brunch?
Our first kiss was at the bar, which again, very unusual for me.
Oh,
Which
wow. So
bar?
that night.
At the bar
first...
that her party was at. Yeah. We just like really got
Oh,
along.
wow.
Yeah.
How
That's
did
so
you
cool.
lean in? How did that happen?
I think I must have.
Yeah.
Confidence,
Yeah.
confidence, confidence. That's what I'm
Yes,
hearing,
yes,
Josh
yes.
Gondelman.
And it was very like that's maybe happened 2 times in my whole life.
Well, what I wanted to ask you about was you're such a nice guy that I feel like a lot of women might. Have you been friend zoned before? Or have women just been like, oh, he's so like, how do you shift between
Sure.
those two?
I think you have to.
Because a lot of guys listening are nice guys and
Yeah.
get friend zoned.
I-
I myself get friend zoned. What would be your advice?
It's very nice to have friends. I'm like very pro friendship.
Yes.
That's like a thing.
Aw.
And being married is like a very liberating thing for friendship because I'm never trying to hook up with someone. So I'm always, I mean, other than my wife.
Sure.
But like, I'm never like trying to like hook up or flirt with strangers. So like when I meet someone, I feel like this incredible clarity of purpose of like, this is either business or friendship, and there's no weird ulterior motive. So I like love friends.
But before.
Yes. So before it was different. And I think when I was younger, in my like teens and early 20s when I was dating, I had people tell me that I was too nice. And I think I say it in the book too, but it's like that's just a euphemism for like I'm not really interested in fucking you, but you seem sweet. And that's totally fine. But I also think I got that less as I became older because I was nice, but not nice in a boundaryless way, nice in like a comfortable way.
Mhm.
And I feel like I have gotten increasingly comfortable with who I am as a person, and that's made it a little easier. And I think it like reads less as too nice and more just like if you're, and you also kind of like this is what you're signing up for.
Mhm.
I'm like a very soft man with the posture of a croissant. So like it's like if that's not what you're into, if you're not into like a very gentle person who's like also a wise ass,
Yeah.
then it's like it's okay that I am not for you, and
Yes.
it's been that way. And so like I think being nice, but like having a sense of like this is who I am, and it's like I don't need this other person, right? If I'm nice and they're not into it, that's like okay because I am sufficient.
That's
Well,
great.
That's just healthy.
yeah,
You know, like,
sound incredibly healthy.
You know, if you don't want me, I don't want you either.
That's
Not saying
okay.
I don't want, but it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not gonna
okay
take
that
it
you
personally.
don't have the same interest.
and
Right.
it's like he trusts the process of his life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like I'm doomed. You sort of. It sounds
Yeah.
like you see this whole. Like leading up until Maris. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Leading up until her. It sounds like you were just sort of like, okay, well, that didn't work out. That's all right. It's not like this is the end of my
Yes.
life.
I got a lot better at that. I had like breakups, you know, like you do when you're like in your teens and your 20s, breakups that are not like they don't alter the course of your life, but they feel like they're going to.
Mhm.
And I like just had less of that as I got older where I was like, man, this is really sad. But I also got better at being like, well, the time we spent together was very worthwhile. And like, it's okay that we're not together now.
Yeah. It's just trusting that it's just going to work out the way
Yeah.
it should and reflecting on your life and realizing. I was talking to someone last night who's going through a pretty bad breakup right now. And I've seen him go through other breakups. And I reminded him, I had forgotten about it, but I was reminded of it watching how sad he was. I was like, I've seen you this sad. I was like, remember your last breakup?
Yeah.
And he was like, yes. And I was like, and you got like, remember that it passes.
Yeah.
And that you are so grateful for that breakup now because it led you to this girl that you're now upset about now. I mean, can't you project into the future and know that
That this
literally
will
every
happen.
rejection I've ever had and every rejection anyone's ever had leads to a million things that wouldn't have happened had that not
Totally.
happened. And it's so hard in the moment to know that, but it is good.
And I feel really grateful that like the really painful breakups in the past were like I can look back and be like, oh, that's not a person that I wanted to be. I could have been compatible with forever, or like even longer term than we were. And like now I'm with Maris, who's my wife, and I love her so much, and I'm like, we're so compatible, and I like just like love being with her every day, and it doesn't like I think if she left, it would certainly destroy me. But everyone else, you know.
Can I ask, how did you know when you wanted to marry her?
The rubric that I developed, which is so fucking hot to say, just like nothing gets people horny like the word rubric, but like a thing that I tried to ask myself in relationships as I was like more of an adult is like, do I want this person around as much as possible?
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. It was like I just want to be with her as much as I can. Like when I'm hanging out at home on the couch and like working, it's like nicer when she's there.
Yeah.
And when I'm like going out with friends, it's like more fun when she's also there, and like going to movies, like all that stuff.
That's great.
Yeah, it's so.
That's the rubric.
It's
That
so
is it.
great.
It's the rubric. Yeah. So
That's-
you always kind of knew you wanted to get married, or did this rubric come into play as you were meeting her?
We're talking
and hanging
rubric
out
play
with
now? Okay. We're getting deep
Some
into
guys
Knew it
are
was
marriage
hot.
guys. Other guys are like, whoa,
I was
marriage.
I was always open to it.
Okay.
But I wasn't like seeking it out. I didn't have like a ticking clock or anything, which I think is easier for a guy because it's like there's just less to think about on a timeline biologically.
Yeah.
But when we got engaged, and we basically decided very quickly that we weren't going to have biological children. So like that also took a lot of pressure off, where it's like we can just be together, and if that feels like all we need, then that's wonderful. And if it feels like there's something missing, we can like think about ways to acquire a child, whether adoption or kidnapping or some kind of Frankenstein-y child experiment.
And you have a pug, a famous
We do
pug.
have a pug. Oh, she's so good.
Yeah.
She's just a fat little dumpling.
Is she famous? Can you follow her?
Instagram.
You can follow her on Instagram. Maris manages her account. It's at Busy the Pug.
Busy the pug.
I used to get in my old neighborhood when we lived in Williamsburg, people would recognize Busy when I was out. And it was like nothing makes you feel like a nobody in entertainment than someone recognizing your dog and not knowing your name.
I actually just saw like some BuzzFeed article about people not knowing that, like paparazzi taking pictures of people noticing famous people's dogs
Yeah.
and not noticing them.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so it is a thing that happens.
Your first kiss was like when you were 10th grade.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, end of 10th grade. 11th grade. Beginning of 11th
insane.
grade.
French?
Yeah.
Did you peck before you French?
No.
You went right to the French, you slut.
He raped my face, Andrew.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He threw his tongue how deep in
Yeah.
your mouth?
It was so awful. It was, he leapt across the room. But I felt like it was my fault. Like I had asked for that. So I felt really bad about it that I didn't want to kiss him and that's what screwed me up with guys for so long, is that if I tell a guy I like them,
Yeah.
I feel like then I owe them everything. I owe them sex, I owe them kissing, and I don't ever feel comfortable letting a guy know I have a crush on him unless I'm absolutely 100% sure I would want their penis in me. So I will not.
Okay, but a first
because this guy, we were
Yeah.
watching. It was after the football game in high school. We were both on the pep squad. We came back to his place.
He was on the pep squad?
Yeah, it was the cool guys and the cool girls.
I don't
and
know about that. I
I
don't think a guy on a pep squad
You
is a
don't
cool
understand
guy.
what the Kirkwood pep squad was.
Okay, my
back
bad.
then.
Did he play on the team?
No.
Okay, so he wasn't that cool.
No, he was so hot. Football, girls in my school weren't into the football players.
Okay.
It was like a separate, there were certain girls that those were the cheerleaders, but like girls like me, we were into, like he was a cross country guy. He was so hot.
Okay, so he's ripped, he was skinny.
He was like skinny, but he was like tall and tan and had like bleached blonde hair, like naturally
like
from the
you.
sun. Kind of.
Yeah.
And he was so hot. But one time we were hanging out, watching TV after the football game, and he was like, Nikki, I like you. And I was like, oh my God, I like you too. Like, because we were just like friends, but I liked him so much, I thought he liked my friend Taylor. And I was like, he goes, so can I ask you out on a date sometime? And I was like, yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, he likes me. I can't believe this. I was so excited. I remember Mitch Hedberg was on Letterman. We were watching Mitch Hedberg for the first time ever. It was the first time I saw Mitch Hedberg was this moment. And we were just sitting there in silence, and I was just like, I was like so excited. I was like, I'm gonna have a boyfriend. It's and then he, out of nowhere, leapt across. I mean, he was sitting like like across the room, ran at me and just attacked my face and just started making out. And I just go, stop! And I pushed him off. And then he went into the kitchen and started like slamming cabinets and being like, fucking fucked up. I fucked up. And it was just like throwing shit around, and I was just sitting there. And he was my ride home. I think I didn't have a license at the time, or I didn't have a car that night. And I was just sitting there like annoyed, like, are you okay? It's fine, it's fine. And he's like slamming cabinets and being like, I fucking fucked up, And I was just like,
dude, okay. I'm fucking captain of the pep squad. I'm better than this.
Yes. And so finally, I'm like, will you drive me home? And he did. And what I didn't know, in the kitchen, he was chugging vodka. Chugging his parents' vodka.
Before
driving me home.
Oh my God.
And he drove like 60 and a 30. Like, he was speeding. I thought I was going to die on the way home because he was so mad at me. And so he drove me home. I was terrified the whole way. I got out of the car. This is like me now, but when I was in high school, I was meek and mild and timid. It was just like a little taste of what I was going to be someday. But I stepped one foot out of the car, and he took off, and I fell out of the car. He almost ran me over. And I get up and I go, fuck you! Fuck you! Jesus. And then I went inside and called all my friends and told them what had happened. And the next day I had to go be on a parade float with this asshole the whole day. And
that was your first kiss?
That was my first kiss.
How awkward was the parade? He must have been hungover.
He was hungover.
Did he pretend like that all didn't happen?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he called me later to apologize, which was nice. But yeah, that was my first kiss, and I think that really like traumatized me forever.
Yeah, my first kiss, I think, was my camp counselor. And no, it was in 4th grade. I kissed I kissed a 6th grader. We were on the bus. I was new at the school. I was at private school, and I was so small. But I was a cute kid, but I was like the smallest kid ever. And this girl, she was a head taller, and she was the hottest girl in 6th grade. And she liked me. I don't know why, but like whatever.
Whoa, what, 6th grade? Like
yeah,
in a 4th
like
grader?
in a 4th grader.
Whoa.
I know.
May, December.
And so then I'm on the bus. We're in the back of the bus. Everyone's saying likes you, likes you. So then I guess we're going out somehow. I don't know if it was ever talked about, but we're ready to kiss.
Why didn't this last?
You know, she fell.
Her career got in the way.
Well, I think I was very timid. And so when we kissed, I remember everyone was watching on the bus, and I've never kissed anyone. And we come, and I slam my nose on her nose. I didn't turn my head.
Yeah, you just straight
and everyone just fucking laughed at me. So it's kind of similar to yours, like where it was just like, okay, well, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
I fucked that up. And then I think I kissed her again, but I don't think I ever kissed her with tongue. I don't know if I kissed with tongue until like 7th grade. I remember she liked me. She was an 8th grader. The hottest 8th grader liked me when I was, I don't know. And
wow.
And she dumped me because I wouldn't make out with her with tongue.
Why wouldn't you? Because AIDS?
Maybe because of AIDS, yeah.
Hey guys, you just watched a clip from my radio show, You Up with Nikki Glaser, that you can hear every morning on Comedy Central Radio, SiriusXM channel 95, 10 to 12 Eastern. And you can check out a clip here on YouTube every Tuesday.
Or check out my podcast.
No!